Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
A family's worst fears are confirmed in the case of a young man who went kayaking and never made it back to shore.
And a young mother is killed by a hit-and-run driver in a very distinct-looking vehicle. Sabrina Duff was just walking on the sidewalk when the car hit her.
Now she's gone, and those closest to her can't believe it. They're sharing fond memories of her while also making sure police give this case the attention it deserves.
The accident happened as Sabrina was walking along Inkster Road near Carlisle. That's where Sean Lay picks up the story after speaking with someone Sabrina called family.
This happened last Friday night just before midnight here at Inkster Road in Carlisle. Sabrina Duff was trying to cross Inkster Road here to get to that little store you see behind me when she was hit. The driver kept going tonight. Inkster police, they are searching for that driver. It's unclear who ran over and killed Sabrina Duff. What is clear tonight?
Oh, it's just memories.
Everyone in her life loved her so very much. Gaynor Villeneuve looks at photos of the young mom of 5. She says she was like a mother to Sabrina for the past 15 years. Early Saturday morning,
Scared the crap out of me, yeah.
Inkster police were at her door out in Sumter Township.
I asked them, well, how did you contact me? And they said that I was listed in her phone under mom. Because I've been her mom for about the last 15 years.
Police were there to tell her that Sabrina had been hit and killed here on Inkster Road late last Friday. Today, police say they very much want to find the driver that hit her and kept on going. It could have been an accident, or police say it could have been intentional. They're looking for a man she recently met. Bottom line, Sabrina Duff had 5 children. All are devastated that she was taken from them.
Yeah, she was, like I said, she was a lovely person. I've heard that he came up on the sidewalk, and then I'm like, well, did he come up on the sidewalk, or did they find her on the sidewalk? Was she knocked there? And really don't have a lot of answers at this point.
We're live tonight with the very latest. Look, we had a couple of very interesting conversations with investigators with Inkster Police. They say the car that was involved here is lime green. They say they are very motivated in finding the car and finding the driver. Again, lime green should have a lot of damage to that car. They're saying anyone that has any information that may have seen something or any particular detail that might help to give them a call. They are looking for information tonight. Meantime, Sabrina's daughters, they've established a memorial on Facebook to help pay for a memorial for their mother. We've linked that page to our website. Click on Detroit.com. We're live tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4.
Hopefully somebody sees something and speaks up, Sean. Thank you.
A Local 4 update now. Detroit police say a man wanted in connection for a carjacking has turned himself in after seeing himself on TV. Surveillance video showed that black Yukon belonging to a military veteran pulling out of a parking lot on the city's west side. Police say that was after the suspect pulled a gun and demanded the keys. Again, a man now in custody. We have a sad Local 4 update for you this evening. The body of a missing kayaker has been found along Lake Michigan. 23-year-old Jacob Sandy was last seen kayaking shortly before a storm moved into the area. Originally from Birmingham, Sandy was living in South Bend, Indiana. Last week, his kayak was found along the shoreline in New Buffalo, Michigan. His body was found this morning near where he was last seen in Indiana. Police are still investigating.
Detroit police have arrested a suspect in the shooting death of a cab driver. Police say they have a man in custody related to the death of Mohammed Zainul. Shooting happened Saturday on Collingwood on the city's west side. Police say Zainul was driving his cab when he was shot. He then crashed into a tree where he was found unresponsive. Right now, police have not named that suspect or filed any charges.
All right, let's talk weather because it's just so fun and festive and bright out there. And oh, wait, it's a little gloomier than that, isn't it?
Especially here on the east side. But there are spots that are getting some sunshine. Mount Clement's not necessarily one of them. But man, that grass looks so green out there with all that rain that we have had. Here to look at temperatures, and most of us are in the 60s, but there are some spots down in our south zone that are in the 70s where that sunshine has managed to emerge. The clouds that are out there, they're pretty much hanging right there at the top of the screen. Those ceilings are about 1,500 feet here on the east side. And yes, there's a little bit of fog. It's not really causing any travel issues, but 5, 6, 7 mile visibility here compared to the 10 miles that we're seeing a little bit further off to the west where that clearing already taking place. Current temperatures mostly 60s, but that's where that sunshine has managed to bring in some 70s in Ann Arbor, and also in Adrian. Slow down, Bailey, as we get through the rest of the evening. We will see what the weekend holds, of course, as the big race approaches on Saturday and Sunday. All that coming up in just a few minutes. Don't forget to download the Local Forecasters app. It's got interactive radar, severe weather alerts, and a lot more right in the palm of your hand. Download it for free in your app store by searching WDIV. Kim?
The annual meeting of the political and business luminaries on Mackinac Island kicked into gear today. The Grand Hotel is packed with people who have a big stake in Michigan's future, but not everyone there is from our state. Devin Scillian continues our coverage of the Mackinac Policy Conference with someone from the South who made waves in the last election cycle. Hi, Devin.
Yeah, boy, she sure did, Kimberly. I just came out of the theater where I hosted a conversation with Stacey Abrams, who really caught fire as an American political figure, becoming the first ever African-American woman to receive a major party nomination for governor of any state, and very nearly became the governor of the state of Georgia. We talked about a lot of things. We talked quite a bit about race in America and about political discourse in America, but I started with what's on everybody's mind when it comes to Stacey Abrams.
You can't swing a stick without hitting a Democratic presidential candidate.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if from where I'm sitting, if I was to swing a stick, would I hit... would I hit a Democratic presidential candidate?
Is the stick falling out of your hand?
I think I would maintain control of the stick.
I appreciate the fact that you are the voice of Michigan. And I'm going to respond with civil silence.
Which is not a no.
I believe the glass is half full, but probably poisoned. And so...
But apparently that's not a pessimist.
It's not, because I think the glass is half full. I think it's probably poisoned, which means you try to find an antidote. So it's a job. You try to fix it, but you know you're probably poisoned. It's just question, is it fast acting or is it one of those slow ones that takes time, like a Hitchcock movie? And so my belief is I'm an ameliorist. Optimists, I think, sometimes miss the challenges, and pessimists miss the opportunities. But it's not every person of color's responsibility to be the tutor to white people. Just as it's not every woman's responsibility to explain sexism to men, you don't have to be the ambassador for your ism. But if you want it to get better, you've got to acknowledge that sometimes you're the closest thing that we're going to have, and sometimes patience and amnesty are necessary for progress.
Yeah, she really seemed to captivate people here this afternoon. Ended up getting a standing ovation from the crowd here. I did try one more time for her to let us in on her political plans for the future. There's a lot of people here trying to encourage her to run for the Senate in Georgia, other things, but so far she's keeping it all pretty quiet. Coming up tonight at 11, I had a fascinating conversation today with U.S. Attorney Matthew Schneider, who explained to me about why Michigan right now has more public corruption cases going on than anywhere else in the country. Fascinating. I hope you join us for that tonight at 11. Till then, from Mackinac Island and the Grand Hotel, Devin Scillian, Local 4. Kim and Jason, back to you.
Devin, it looks like it was a fun time with Stacey. Looks like you had a great conversation. A lot going on there, and I know a lot of people are thinking about Dan Gilbert. What's the overall mood there?
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. There really hasn't. We did kind of have him publicly talked about from the stage today, as we kind of got an update on his condition, that he's been doing pretty well as can be expected after a stroke, as it was described here. But so many conversations among those attending the conference here of what would or could happen if he can't quite go forth the way that he has before. It's a morbid conversation. Nobody really wants to engage in it too much, but everybody here seems to have a real understanding of just how key Dan Gilbert is right now to the city of Detroit.
Yeah, and we're all thinking about him as well. Okay, Devin, we look forward to talking to you tonight at 11. We'll see you then.
Parents of teen drivers want to know everything that happens while their child is behind the wheel, especially if they get pulled over by police. Kim DeGiulio tonight shows us how hiding that event from mom and dad just got a little harder in Livingston County.
The STOPS program, which stands for Sheriffs Telling Our Parents and Promoting Educational Driving, has been around for a while. However, it was all done with snail mail, which was not as effective. Today, the program was rolled out to be completely electronic.
If we issue a citation, sometimes the student or the child won't tell their parents.
Parents who want to stay in the loop about their children's driving can sign up for this program online.
You just register as a parent, just a first name and a last name. The sticker comes in the mail.
Once you got that sticker, you would place it on the driver's side of the rear window. That way, if your child were to get pulled over, the police would know that you were part of the system, so they could contact you to let you know. Immediately after the stop, the officers would fill out this form. It gives the driver's parents an email or a text with info about why they were stopped, where they were stopped, and who was in the car at the time.
Can we go ahead and send it? Yep. That's basically it on our end. It gets sent, wait for your phone to go off. There it is. That fast.
The STOPS program is currently only active in Livingston County as well as Mason County. But other counties around Michigan are expected to join soon.
Any law enforcement agency can sign up to use the program, so every agency in the state can have access to it.
Of course, there's the concern about parents being too protective of their children with technology like this.
It's just parents being concerned about what's going on.
In Livingston County, I'm Kim DiGiulio, Local 4.
It's good stuff right there. I like the idea some cops have too. They'll give them a warning, but make you call your parents.
That's right.
In the car.
It's good.
It's good too. Grand Prix excitement doesn't always have to involve four wheels, does it, Jamie?
Hey there, Jason. This is what we call an active live shot. We're going to participate in a slow roll with IndyCar drivers. Join us next.
All right, Jamie. Plus, people who had to wait in traffic during this Macomb County rescue operation would probably be surprised to find out why. We'll show you coming up next.